have been on the doorstep of two women who I feel I should tell the story of today. One, a victim of domestic violence, the glass still broken in her front door, living in a one-bedroom flat, her 13-year-old son still having to share her bed. Another woman I've met before, and she said, now you're on my doorstep, see my boys, she said, see my big boys. Her teenage sons came to the door. She lives in this one-bedroom flat with her two teenage sons and her husband. And this, Mr. Speaker, is not unusual in my constituency. It is a living tragedy that people will go through their whole childhood, adolescence and into adulthood, sometimes sharing a bed with a parent, certainly living in severely overcrowded conditions. And we have over 3,000 people at any one time in temporary accommodation, a number that has exponentially grown. So this promise of new housing rings hollow to those people. And the Prime Minister needs to look at the reality of people's lives, not just in some parts of the country, but particularly in the expensive parts of the country, in the city where he was mayor. In the city, Mr. Speaker, where he believed that affordable housing was 80% of private rents. 80% of £1,500 or more a month for a one-bedroom flat. In a city where, in my borough, a typical new two-bedroom property comes in at £750,000. And if you take a generous view of house prices, the average house price is 17 times the average local salary. And bear in mind, Mr. Speaker, that in my constituency there are some generous local salaries in the mix. So the city workers will make that even lower figure. But for the poorest, on a good retail job, working as a nurse in a hospital, they just can't afford a new home. So renting is out of reach for many people. They need that good quality, properly affordable housing in order to keep our city going. And if levelling up means anything, it doesn't mean levelling down or keeping people in Hackney, South and Shoreditch and in London squeezed into inappropriate and overcrowded accommodation in order to build nice, identikit three-bedroom houses with gardens elsewhere. Of course, I want everybody to have opportunity, but not at the expense of those in London.